Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today I wanted to talk about something that I keep on getting asked about Port Olisar, the starting station, the spawn location we have as default in the verse, in the persistent universe, or at least it sort of used to be. There are rumours going around about its potential destruction as soon as CitizenCon or for Alpha 3.8 coming at the end of the year. So I wanted to talk a bit more theory crafting and put some of the information we have together about it and talk about those rumours and, yeah, talk about what's going on with that. So Port Olisar is a legacy space station in the game. It's the first location in the persistent universe we've had, or at least one of the first ones, and it's built with older systems and assets which CIG said at some point they would replace. And CIG have been working on new space stations, both large and small rest stops, well, large and medium rest stops, I suppose, in the medium term, and interiors for them. We've actually had some new exteriors for those stations since Alpha 3.6, and they are pretty varied and pretty big. So that Alpha 3.6 build was live in July 2019, but further expansion of space stations, of the interiors for the rest stops. Those updates are listed on the roadmap for Alpha 3.8 currently, but we know that CIG have been working on them nonetheless. These new stations use modular pieces and an ever-expanding selection of new assets, tools, branding, shop types, and allow for a range of inventory, services, looks, potentially spawn points, hubs, engineering areas, large halls and atriums, food courts, a larger range of shops than we've previously had, areas for admin, staff, and security sections. The idea is to make a station that sort of you could imagine actually being real. It has the ability to cater for the staff living there and working there. It has the component room and engineering sections, so it can literally have physicalized components if it needs to for your power plants and all that sort of stuff. And maybe has refineries and that sort of thing as well, although refineries are something a little bit different that they are separately working on. In a recent data mine, both large and medium rest stops were mentioned, which suggests that they're quite far along. And they've also been shown on the Inside Star Citizen stuff as well. So there's large R&R or rest stops. This sprawling rest stop operated by an R&R is larger than average and features a multitude of services for travellers beyond the normal refueling and restocking. Restaurants, bars, stores, entertainment hubs, and more are available. There's the medium ones, which are probably pretty similar to what we already have in-game internally, but they'll expand it out. They've got more new assets. They've got some extra stuff there. Owned and operated by Rest and Relax, this station offers plenty of amenities for space-weary travellers. Besides being able to restock and refuel their ships, visitors will find several shops to peruse for provisions and refreshments. So it's pretty basic, those medium ones. CIG are building out cargo depot space stations and refineries, abandoned and automated stations, with some of that being planned for Alpha 3.9 Q1 2020, though the cargo stations, which are supposed to be more focused on ships, allowing them to load and unload cargo, trade, mainly sort of like larger ships that aren't suited to land planetside, so they can manage their cargo, potentially at a premium price without having to land. That sort of makes sense. You don't want to have these giant ships landing planetside. You want to be able to do everything in orbit if possible. And yeah, you can have smaller ships doing that as well. They can make use of these facilities. Refineries, again, obviously extra services for space stations, but I believe that is going to be its own sort of like separate type of mining and refining station. CIG said they were planning to replace Port Olisar with one of their new stations potentially before the cargo stations are finished. So they said they wanted to build out the sort of procedural tech behind space stations, which they've been working on for a while. They've got loads of new assets for the R&R stations, the rest stop stations, which Port Olisar basically is just a large version of that. It's sort of like in between that and a cargo station as far as I'm aware. So it's very possible that they are ready to replace Port Olisar with a new station or something newer, or maybe even another placeholder, but a placeholder moving towards more what they have in line for the game. And there have been various rumours and suggestions that Port Olisar is getting replaced or even destroyed as part of CitizenCon 2019 and a gameplay demo that they might show there, which is a possibility. That said, previously talking to devs about demos and things that they've shown at CitizenCon, they often heavily change what could be shown at CitizenCon. Sometimes at the last second, they can cut things down, they can add stuff, they can move stuff around, they can actually do no-go meetings about this sort of stuff and really change it at the last second. So something really planned for gameplay demo might not be as locked down as you think. There are various pictures and even assets in-game of bits of Port Olisar and wreckage from stations which look like Port Olisar. It's possible that it's just, the same station type, or just wreckage from modular parts of what they were going to originally build from stations or whatever. And obviously they had lots of assets that they built out, but it's like the rings and bits of Port Olisar, bits of the modules, and it looks like, oh yeah, that could be Port Olisar, but they've got that sort of wreckage in-game. There has been a video from quite a long time ago, admittedly, showing a vandal attack on Port Olisar as well. There are audio broadcasts on Port Olisar around the ASOP terminals that people have been listening to, and they added in 3.7.1. It's supposed to be connected to CitizenCon or something happening in the game really soon.
Attention, people of Stanton. A great injustice.
From what I can hear, it says, attention people of Stanton, a great injustice has been, and you can hear this in Area 18 and Lawville Central Business District as well sometimes. It's possible that this is a warning of an incoming attack, or prepping the scene for showing off some interesting new gameplay and potential sort of like star systems and new missions at CitizenCon as well. But it's also very possible that it's to do with Port Olisar getting replaced and blown up. So the monthly report has teased that they were working with the audio department, with upstream departments on something very cool for CitizenCon, which is probably that audio and its conclusion, whenever that's going to be. Again, with the monthly report, they said they worked on animations for new mission types and stuff for CitizenCon. They finalised a few new important ships and locations for CitizenCon, but there's nothing really concrete other than they're saying, oh, there's going to be cool stuff at CitizenCon. One of the Reddit theories here with that audio was that it was part of the political in-game law stuff that's evolving, with UE elections potentially being held in 2950, which would be 2020 real year, so early next year in-game. In fact, the law guys for Star Citizen have said an election is coming fairly soon. Again, something in law that might affect some of the missions and flavour of the game. Another theory is that it's like a terrorist or a whistleblower even, that's sort of like trying to expose corruption or mega corporations doing something dodgy, or politics or something like that. Alpha 3.7.2, which is currently on the PTU, has actually changed the default spawn location. So when you first make a character and jump into the game, rather than be on Port Olisar, which we've had since forever, pretty much, it's now been changed to Area 18 and the hubs there on ArcCorp. That tends to lend itself potentially towards the rumour that maybe Port Olisar will be removed at CitizenCon, or when 3.7.2 drops to live, because if they change the spawn point, then potentially that could be one of the reasons why. I mean, the other obvious reason is because that the expo, the anniversary expo, is on Area 18 ArcCorp at the Brevik Convention Centre, which it just makes sense that you spawn there and are able to move immediately to rent ships to have a look at the expo hall. It's likely as well that people will have a free fly then as well, so just having people near that convention centre, near the expo hall, makes sense. But I'm just saying, it's also something that potentially supports it. 3.7.2 should drop at CitizenCon or the day after as well. If Port Olisar is destroyed, then it does need to be replaced by something. It's the primary landing zone around Crusader, the planetary system there at the moment, at least until Horizon is added and Planet Crusader stops being a placeholder and becomes a visitable gas giant. That said, either a large rest stop or something a bit more bespoke could take its place using the new tech, but we probably would need something. So will Port Olisar be destroyed? It's certainly a possibility that Port Olisar could be destroyed as part of some cool action scene or gameplay at CitizenCon and replaced with something, but It's certainly nothing more than a rumour until after CitizenCon has run its course. There's nothing particularly tangible with any of the rumours there that I can see, or any of the leaks. The audio in-game is the most compelling thing for me, and the fact that they technically have the space station tech now to replace Olisar, and it's a legacy asset. That sort of tends towards, yeah, maybe we could see Olisar replaced. It's going to be replaced at some point. Is it going to be replaced at CitizenCon? Maybe. I mean, it's not a huge project to replace if they've already got the station built. But what do you think? Do you think the audio messages in Star Citizen around the ASOP terminals are going to be resolved at CitizenCon? Or do you think it's something like leading more towards Alpha 3.8 or more in lore? And not really going to affect the game world that much, but just be something that's like, oh yeah, I can see that happening in lore, and it's going to be building the universe a bit more. Do you think Olisar will be destroyed at CitizenCon or later, or quietly replaced? Do you think it will have its wreckage left behind if it is destroyed? How do you think it will be destroyed? Vandal, pirates, or some other faction? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For November, it's for a Cutlass Black game package and CitizenCon 2948, last year's goodie pack. All you need to do for a chance of winning is comment on any of my videos made during November 2019. More details below. A quick bit of shilling as well. Shadow provide remote access to high-spec gaming PCs as a subscription service, so you don't need to maintain your own gaming PC. You can leverage the power of your internet to turn your phone, tablet, laptop, or home PC into a monster. They are taking pre-orders for their new hardware configurations, scaling for 4K gaming, up to 32 gigs of RAM, and a GeForce Titan RTX, which I am very much looking forward to playing Star Citizen on. Links below, and use the code BoredGamer to get a discount. I also use NordVPN, which I've decided to continue to support, as they appear to have one of the best VPN services currently available at an affordable price. If you're looking for a VPN, consider them. Links below. Thank you so much for watching my video to the end. If you would like to share my video, comment, subscribe, like, all that sort of jazz, ring the bell, that all helps content creators. Also, if you want to further support the channel even more, there's Patreon, there's direct donation, there's the YouTube join button as well, which gives you access to some more sort of like exclusive content from me. Thank you very much for watching. You take care, and I'll see you in the verse.